rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. It's going down like a rodeo. It's going down like I told you so. I hope you all here for the ride. Come inside, cause it's going down tonight. I'm only here for one night, no lies. Come and saddle up a ride. Need a yeehaw, you know how ye. Here for one night and we just wanna party. In a fast car, a Ferrari. It's a push start, I don't need a get up and try. Get up and try.
Hey, everybody. It's Kenny E again on Black Iron Tri, and welcome back to another episode of Fearless Conversations. And today I am honored to have, this is without question, this is my best racing buddy. This is my guy right here. This is the guy. And if I did my editing right, you'll know that from the opening of this interview already. So I have Mr. Mark Donahue on with me today. Hi, Mark. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Kenny, and back at you on all that. You are my best racing buddy, so
it's great.
It's awesome.
So, people, I don't know. There aren't, you run into people that there aren't enough superlatives to say about things. This is one of those guys. I could end this whole interview by saying this guy has a Wikipedia page that he did not make. Right? Someone else created a Wikipedia page for this guy. But to give you a little bit of background, he's a 70-year-old father and grandfather, married father and grandfather. He'll be celebrating his 48th wedding anniversary this year in June. So congratulations to you and Kathy. Wow. His wife, he and his wife, Kathy, have two sons. And between the two of them, they blessed Mark and Kathy with 4 grandchildren, 2 boys and 2 girls. I think it went boy, girl, boy, if I got that right. They range in ages right now from 13 to 6. And that just is sobering for me because I remember when the first one was born. So a little bit of Mark's background. When I tell you the man, he's had 3 careers that I know about. He might have some secret careers and I don't know about, but he was a 2-time All-American at the University of Michigan, played football under the legendary Bo Schembechler. And if you know anything about Mark and me, I went to Notre Dame, Mark went to Michigan, and we have a blast giving people crap by training together while we're wearing our Michigan and Notre Dame. There's this fake rivalry that people talk about or whatever. After college, after playing and doing his 2-time All-American with Michigan, Mark played for the Cincinnati Bengals for 3 seasons, where he either started or played in. Out of the 44 games, I think you were with those guys. You played in 40 or started in 43 of them, and then went on to get in health insurance, where he was either a salesperson, moved up the ranks to executive for 36 years, and now he's the president of his high school alma mater in Chicago, Brother Rice. Where he's about to start his 8th, or he may have already started his 8th year doing that. Mark and I met cycling, but he's since then he and I both got suckered into triathlon by our cycling / triathlon buddies. He started his first triathlon at 60, Mark. You were 60 years old before you did.
I think 60, 60 or 61.
61, yeah. Your first 70.3 is 61.
60,
Since then,
that's right.
he's done 10 70.3s in this short time. And he has started and raced in 4 full Ironman. He's completed one of them, and it was this one, Ironman Florida, where we raced together. And I have a hard time talking about that race without coming to tears because it was so emotional and so fantastic for both of us. And I am just so excited about having Mark on today. He is still in Chicago and trains with both Infinity Multisport. You've heard me talk about them before, Maurice and Lara out in Chicago, and as well as I don't know where No Limits is out of. You racing with is it Lindsay Lay?
She's the coach. It's a national firm.
Okay.
She's co-owner. I think the other, the president is out in Denver, Colorado.
Gotcha.
And Lindsay's in PA. And
oh wow, okay. And then just for fun, Mark, I have to bring this up. Mark participates in a ride called the Triple Bypass, which is in Colorado. Is that in Colorado, Mark?
It is, yeah.
And what, 10,000 feet of climbing over the course of 2 or 3. I don't know. The name is triple bypass. That for me, tell us a little bit about triple bypass, and I got some questions for you, buddy.
I will. It's an endurance bicycle ride. It's over three mountain peaks, and you go over Loveland Pass. You go over the Continental Divide.
Ah,
It's
okay.
pretty awesome. And so,
Very cool.
it's 120 miles, 10,800 feet of climbing. But it'll take me 10 to 12 hours. There's breaks and everything else, but
Sure, sure.
it's one of the most beautiful experiences.
I
Uh,
can only imagine.
and
You tried to get me to go. I've been dancing around. I am a little intimidated by that. I'm
I'm
not gonna
signed
lie.
up. This will be my sixth, I think, this year.
Yeah, people. Mark is an accomplished athlete in so many ways, and look at him. To tell me this man is 70 years old, you can't, he doesn't look at it. And then Mark, I got to mention, we're racing this summer in about 3 weeks.
Three weeks, we're going to be down in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. And if you didn't get a chance to see our earlier interview with Rojo, she'll be there as well. So we're looking forward to having. It's going to be a party, man. So Mark, I mean, I'm gonna call this the elephant in the room. You turned 70 in January, and man, you're doing. I'll mention you do CrossFit as your cross training, as your strength training with your son. I think you go out with one of your sons and do that. You attend a lot of the sporting events for your grandkids. You're 70 and you're still doing triathlon, but you've been very successful at the 70.3 distance, and it's always a blast getting to race with you. But at this age, you didn't toe the line until 60. What's that about? What made you decide at 60 years old to start triathlon?
Well, you may remember that we met in around 2012, 2013,
Yep.
And we started cycling together,
Yep.
and then we decided to do some longer distance events,
Yes, we
the
did.
century, which and then I decided for my 60th birthday that I wanted to do a triathlon, and
Okay.
so I did my first one up in northern Illinois, Wakanda,
Okay.
and it was a Olympic distance. It was just one of the things to do, and I said I'm going to do this, and it was a great event, fun. And then, of course, then next it was like, well, I got to keep moving.
That's the part. I mean, yeah, it's one thing to do an Olympic distance that it better than most, that there's no comparison between an Olympic and a half, right? And there's no comparison between a half and
As I found out the next year, let me tell you.
yeah.
So yeah, I just, you want to do it to sense of accomplishment. Obviously, people who do stuff like this, it's not just the competitive piece of it; it's the sense of accomplishment. I think one of the benefits of doing these things at my age is that you do grasp the concept of, the journey is more important than the result.
That's
And,
good point.
you get to meet people like you.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know you for the first 50 some years of my life. So,
That's a very good point. That's a good point. That's a good
and you
point.
meet other people, and
Yeah.
there's a whole circle of people that you find, good people, and it's a lot of fun, and that you find in these events.
Mhm.
So I like to keep going. It gives you a reason to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay, so you decided you're going to do a triathlon at 60. I get it. But then you went into the longer distances. Was it just the draw, or was it a function of who you were hanging with?
Probably a combination of both. I mean,
Okay.
Mo at Infinity,
Yep.
had completed longer distances. I think we probably talked about it and knocking one out. I think the first one I did was actually with Mike Blansky, who we did
Ah,
Wisconsin 70.3 together.
yeah. Yeah.
And that was it was a sufferfest. It was a sense of accomplishment to know that you were part of a select group,
Yeah.
it upped your game. So it was all those things.
I think I mentioned to you, it kind of put both of us in a little bit of shock that I'm as old now as you were when we met. right? So
Wow. Yeah.
the time is rolling, and I look up to you and all.
Think how much fun you have in front of you.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, so I know that you're super busy. I think you just got back from Argentina like a couple days ago.
I did. We had something. We're a Catholic high school in Chicago, and our religious sponsor, gathers the school leadership from six continents every 5 years. And so we met at Buenos Aires, Argentina, a couple of weeks ago, and spent a week there.
So you travel internationally. You're running a high school from an administrative standpoint as the man. You are very involved in your grandkids' lives. Um, Mark, how do you find the time? What's your secret? Because I mean, you stay fit. I've got some old pictures. I hope to put up a couple. I'm going to embarrass you a little bit. I'll put up a couple in production here.
I love the run from the first cycle.
I I'm
Where
gonna
we got
put
a
that one
couple.
up. I know that's your favorite.
Oh,
I know that's your favorite. That's gonna definitely go up
yeah,
on this.
we're gonna look at uh, I schedule. So I think a number of things. One is having goals. For events, regardless if it's I'm going to cycle, I'm going to run a 5K or something. But
Sure.
knowing that I have a pending event in front of me is very helpful. I somehow, I wasn't like this 20 years ago.
Mm, mm.
I get up between 4 and 4:15 every day
Yeah.
virtually. And I usually get my first workout in and completed by 6.
Hmm.
And then I've got something in the afternoon. So, like you, several days a week, I'm going to knock out 2 workouts.
Yep.
I think another important thing is I'll give it the best I can based on what my schedule is. But I mean, I used to be in turmoil if I missed a workout. But I'm giving it the best shot. And if it doesn't happen, it happens. I'm peaceful about it, and you
Good.
know, get up the next day. I'm cognizant of the need to get a rest day in also. So
Okay.
when that occurs, that's a good blessing. Yeah, I'll take a day. I generally have something, and if I feel the need, there are some Mondays, I might just take the day. But and obviously, family schedules.
Right. Right.
My grandkids range in age from 6 to going on 14. So I caught 5 girl athletic events this weekend. So it's you,
So
you,
you're getting the grandkids. They already have the athletic bug. I've watched your oldest grandkid, your grandson. Some of he wrestles, right? Does he
yeah,
wrestle? And
yeah.
and I saw some. He looks like a bodybuilder already. He's not. He was when he was like 10 years old. I'm like, what is this kid? He's definitely taking after granddad. That's for dang on sure.
He's a conscientious go get 'em kid. So we're blessed to have somebody like that in the family.
So I think, Mark, that I've been present for every one of your Ironman attempts. Um,
Yes,
I think we raced Chattanooga together in 2018.
yes,
I attended your Louisville attempt in
yes.
2019. We raced California together in 22, and we raced California. I'm sorry, we
We did
raced
no
Florida
22.
in
We did
22.
Florida.
We
Yeah,
did Florida. I'm sorry, I screwed them up. Florida in 22, this one,
yeah.
and then California in 25. Folks, one of the worst times I had was in 2018. Although I was finishing an Ironman and I felt really good about it, was that I knew Mark had not passed me, and as I came to the finish line, he's standing there waiting for me, which told
Yeah.
me he had not finished the race. And it broke my heart. I was very. Your ass was smiling. Excuse my French. You had a smile on your face like you always do. And every time, every race we've done, you are always of the best spirits. Do you have dark moments during the race?
The 3 races that I didn't finish. The last one was in California this year.
Mhm.
And I did have some bike different challenges, and I also I also
See, he's
ran
laughing.
I ran a couple miles the wrong way. I don't want to tell a lot of people this, but
No, but hey, I almost did the same thing. That run was not, that was the worst.
uh,
I'm saying it again, California, worst run ever. Go ahead.
yeah, I'm going to go with you there. The original one we did in 18 and 19 to Chattanooga and Louisville. I realized that I was not at the level of fitness I needed
Hmm.
to after it was all done and I felt like I wasn't going to make it. I timed out of Chattanooga in Louisville. Louisville in Chattanooga, they stopped me at about 14 miles in the run. In Louisville, I stopped at 23 miles, out of time.
That's a killer, man. I
And,
just
and but I was progressing,
yeah,
so uh,
I got stopped later and see, still great attitude. I love it. But go
so
ahead.
it was good.
Yeah.
It's not the end of the world. It's
Yeah, well, that's true. I mean,
it's
yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad. I remind myself I'm glad I'm there. I'm glad somebody at my age and maturity is able
Yeah,
to keep moving forward. And as I said, it's a wonderful community. I
right.
spent time with quality people like yourself, and
Right.
it's just it's an enjoyable experience. I mean, yes, my low moments are probably the next morning when I wake up and I realize that I wasn't able to finish.
I got you.
That's happened 3 times, and we'll see if we can balance the books a little better, but in the future. But for now, I'll enjoy this year and enjoy what I have.
And I know that you and I we had a little record going for a while. We did 3 races where they canceled the swim. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
we were setting a,
Gosh,
uh,
I forgot that. Yeah.
yeah, no, good. Well, our friend Mr. Joe Dowling likes to remind us of that. So, shout out to Joe. Hopefully you're watching. You're getting to watch this interview. But Joe has been, Joe's been very supportive in the
Yes.
background. He, even though he is not doing triathlon, he remains supportive and keeps us on our toes. And I really appreciate what he does for us as a friend and as a fellow athlete. You don't seem to have a low moment during the race, and you're there for your friends, because it's not just me. There's other people that we race with on a regular basis. I think of Katie, who races with us and will be raced with us in California. Will be racing with us in Chattanooga. When we first met, I was 44, and you were 57. Yeah, yeah,
Wow.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's mind blowing. Uh, we were late bloomers into this sport, right? You
Yes.
watch these pros, they're 18 or 22 or 23. They're complaining about being old at 30 and 35. And we hadn't smelled a triathlon starting line at that point. So what would you say to others in our, who are in our age bracket, or where we started, who, because it's tough to get people to buy into this kind of, and I mean, we weren't there when we started cycling together. I think between the two of us, we were over 500 pounds, right? And that's not an exaggeration, people.
Yeah.
Between the two of us, we were well over 500 pounds. I think that's part of the reason we
He,
became.
he ain't lying. I'll tell you that.
I think that's why we were bringing up the rear in the cycling world there. Uh, but it has been life changing, I think, for me, and I see it and hear it in your voice. What would you say to someone who might be on the fence, who maybe especially older athletes?
If people are interested, I mean, I think I think one of the most important things I've found is an introduction to a community that you may not have known existed and or have not been close to. And that's sort of the opposite. As people get older, they sort of hunker down and
Yep.
and and don't expand their wings, and their circle tends to remain the same or even shrink. And I said that, this is really a wonderful way to meet people, to have explore new opportunities, to see different things. So I think, that's all that was always has been and continues to be a real attraction for me. The sense of accomplishment when you're first or second one, where you just get I mean, these are all like participation awards. It's,
Yep.
the truth is it's that who's coming in and what place you're coming in. It's you did it. You put the work in, the time in, you've done it. It's, that really is a fulfilling sense. The foundation of all this is good health.
Good point.
You were right. We were a couple of big guys. I had higher blood pressure. I had, bad cholesterol.
All of that.
Yeah,
All of that.
you had a higher pulse rate, and you had all these things that were red, were yellow flags and turning into red flags if you didn't do something. And so I think the cumulative effect of those things really is a great benefit for someone. And it doesn't have to be an Ironman. It doesn't have to be a half Ironman. It doesn't have to be an Olympic. It can be a 5K run. It can be a swim. It can be some other event. But just the sense of engagement.
One of my biggest motivations in 18 was I had heard rumblings from folks in the group we were training with that didn't think I, or maybe even we, could finish an Ironman.
Gosh, yeah.
Yeah. I'd heard, no one directly said it, but you made a comment. It says you have to because they said you couldn't.
Yeah.
I think that I got that from you, and it was a hell of a motivator. You in the 40s or 50s right now? Resting heart rate.
My pulse rate's between 48 and 52.
And which is just, that you as a medical professional, they know on site somebody our age with a 40 or 50 something resting heart rate, you're doing something other than sitting on the couch and drinking.
So we had a blood drive here at school, and normally when you have somebody come in and do it, as a for my age and everything else, they said I needed to get my pulse rate above 50 in order to be a candidate to give blood. So they kept taking my pulse, and it was like 46, 42, 46. So I'm like, listen, I said, I work out all the time. So
I work out like 3 times a day.
She said, stand up and like do a couple exercises. Get your pulse rate up, she said. Okay. I got it up to about 50, and she goes, we're taking it now.
I love it. And Mark, that's a very good point and a very good piece of advice. It doesn't have to be. Triathletes are crazy. We know that. But it doesn't have to be triathlon. Get up and do something. That's great piece of advice. One question I ask everybody: what does fearless, if it means anything, what does fearless mean to you in triathlon? Does that have any meaning for you?
It means, in some ways it means continuing on. It's getting up the next day, and continuing your training, continuing on in an event or a training event that you're lagging and feeling poorly, and you're just going to continue to, pursue it. It's getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Mark, I usually close off the interview with a rapid fire questions. That these are intentionally, just there are no right or wrong answers. They're just some quick. So, first question, first rapid fire. This is rapid fire from Mark Donahue here. What's your favorite discipline in triathlon and why?
Cycling, because it's one I'm probably the best at out of the 3. And the sense of adventure, travel.
I like it. What's your least favorite discipline?
Running. I was an offensive guard, and I don't.
You didn't have to do a lot of running.
We didn't run we ran fast. We didn't run very far. So
I love that answer. Race day. What are you taking in on the bike? What's your race day fuel?
I really have to make sure I stay hydrated. So I really need to consume. I target a certain amount of consumption for liquids, and I usually do a goo or gel like substance every 20 minutes.
Okay. And Mark, do you run 4 bottles, don't you, on your bike?
I do. I carry 4 bottles with me. Yeah.
So Mark and I have the dubious distinction of probably being the most prolific sweaters. I don't know what the word is, but we sweat them. They used to put at Infinity Multisport, they would put towels under our bikes, only
Yeah.
our bikes,
Yeah.
before work. It is what it is, Mark. We
It
sweat a
is.
lot. We
I
sweat a
know.
lot. So
Both my adult sons have thanked me for these jeans.
so we both run 4 bottles, and we dare anybody to ask us why. So your favorite race so far? What's your
Without
favorite?
question, Ironman Florida. That was, that was awesome. I love that location. I really enjoyed Madison as a for a
Okay.
7.3. There used to be one in gosh, what do they call it? The Michigan, the one that they seized
Steelhead?
Steelhead.
You like that race? I know, I've never raced it. I've never been there. So
It,
I can only, and I know you were one of the people who told me that swim was life-threatening.
The swim is unbelievable. It could be the most variable conditions in Lake Michigan you'll ever swim. I mean, it can be reasonable. It's never better than reasonable. And then it could be, 3 foot
love
waves.
that.
It's nuts.
It's never better than reasonable. Right.
Yeah.
But I've always called that Ocean Michigan because it just does not behave. It doesn't, to me, behave like a lake. It's
Oh,
gigantic. There are ships at the bottom of Lake Michigan that have sunk in Lake Michigan. But so what else would you like about Steelhead that's making the list? What?
perhaps familiarity. I did it
Okay.
couple times, and
Okay.
there was one that was particularly rough conditions, and I finished in about honestly 10 to 15% of the people dropped out because of swim conditions. So
That's why, is that the one? I think Infinity had a number of people at that race, right?
I
And
did,
all
yes.
of the Infinity, a little plug for Infinity, all of the Infinity athletes finished that swim that day. And that's a big deal for such a high dropout rate. So
Yeah.
congratulations to everyone who's done that race, completed that swim, and kudos to Infinity for training your athletes as well as you do. And the last rapid fire question for you: what song would you like to hear crossing the finish line? What do you want to hear playing when we cross in Chattanooga?
Aside from Hail to the Victors,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm gonna give you that one. You get
Uh,
that one because you're the guest of honor today. But go ahead.
I'll go with We Are the Champions.
Okay. All right. We are the champions. I like it. I like it. So, by the way, folks, just one more reference to Mark and my differences in choice of colleges. I call my nickname for Mark is Blue, as in Go Blue, as in Michigan. My family, believe it or not, my mother's side of the family is from the Michigan area, Ann Arbor, Detroit. They are all Michigan fans, even though most of them did not go to Michigan. They have all Michigan fans. And I think that the Michigan Notre Dame rivalry has overblown, I think, a little bit over the years. I think we hate USC. Notre Dame hates USC more than anybody. But but I'll tell you, my if there is a rivalry that's supposed to be at a ridiculous level, I think that my friendship with Mark is the alternative, and kind of the antimatter version of that has been in my life. We have enjoyed racing together
Absolutely.
and training
Yeah.
together for years. So but his nickname is Blue, and that's because I'm proud of him and where he went to school and what he's accomplished, and love him for it. And so I didn't mention that earlier. I meant to, but he's Blue in my book. And when I say Blue, people know who I'm talking about. I don't know. Everybody doesn't use that nickname, but
Yeah.
they know when Kenny says Blue, who the hell he's talking about. So Mark, man, this has been fantastic. I really appreciate you agreeing to be on the show here. This is I'm having a lot of fun, reaching out to people, talking about triathlon, trying to encourage folks to get into this sport. And it's people like you that help to drive that home. And you're looking better than you ever have in my book. And I've seen pictures of you playing at Michigan. You're a wonderful spirit and positive. You're positive for the sport, and I really appreciate you taking some time to be on the show here and sharing with folks what motivates you about triathlon. So thank you for
Thank you,
that.
my brother. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in Tennessee. We'll have a lot of fun. And
We're gonna have a lot of fun. I tried to talk my sister into coming. Like we did
yeah,
Chattanooga last year
yeah,
as well, and my sister joined us, and we were nothing but trouble, man.
that was fun. That was
We had
fun.
a great time, but she can't make it this year, so we'll miss you, Sherman, my sister. but we're still going to have fun without you. So Mark, don't go away. I'm going to close out here with the folks. Thank you everyone for joining us again for Fearless Conversations here on Black Iron Tri. Remember, check out some of the other posts that we've done, but these conversations are obviously an opportunity for you to see the great people I get to meet and race with and train with in the sport. Hopefully they are motivating to you as well. Don't forget to hit the subscribe and like button if you like what you see. Remember, it's free to subscribe. There's no fee to subscribe to the channel. Just hit the subscribe button if you're subscribed. But most importantly, if you are here to see Mr. Donahue, Mr. Mark, please let him know that you saw the interview, what you thought of it, and to share it with anybody who you think might enjoy it. I know I did. It's always great to get a chance to talk to Mark. And check out his Wikipedia page. I'm not making that up. The man has a Wikipedia page. All right. So again, this is Kenny E. Thanking you for joining us and signing off from Black Iron Tri. And remember, as we like to remind you, you do not have to be fastest. Just be fearless. Take care.
All right, see you, buddy.
See you, Mark.
No, I ain't giving you up. No, no, no,